to Canada, and we're getting the bikes ready. Susan's trying to adjust her exhaust. We're going to lube up the chains on these bikes and then pack them up. Right here, got a Wolfman dry bag. This is a Pelican case I rigged to the back, and I've got 2 Pelican cases for either side here to put on. So just lubed up the chain, letting the bike warm up a little bit, and then we're going to pack up, have everything ready for tonight, for the morning, and then we'll take off for Canada. We're going to do the circle tour around Lake Superior. Should be exciting. We've been looking forward to this for over 2 years. Picking up the lights now, the fog lights on Susan's bike. As we get ready here. Both bikes are chain lubed. Yeah, and all the mechanics are checked. Just making some last minute adjustments. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, Canada, here we come. Now, there's tons of videos out there on how to pack for a motorcycle trip. You can find them on YouTube and just about everywhere else. So this really comes down to personal preference and my own packing list and what my wife and I decided to bring on our Circle Lake tour. And this in no way means that this is what you should or need to pack or whatever, but we wanted to pack pretty light, so this is the basic packing list, and this is what you'll need. Don't forget some cash and your passports. So here's the list, a quick glance at it. Don't worry, I'll come back to this list, but I want to go through a few key items. First of all, bring yourself some wet weather or rain gear. It's important. Bring a long sleeve wicking shirt. You're going to need it. Temperature changes up there are, can be extreme. Good pair of waterproof boots, maybe some heated gloves. Unfortunately, and it's too bad, I cannot recommend these Joe Rocket gloves. The connector to the battery failed and the left-hand glove went out after a couple of uses. So, and they weren't cheap, so I can't recommend them. However, I can recommend these outstanding Climb gloves. They're just great. We use these GoPro Sessions for our video footage. My wife had one on her helmet and I had one on mine. So all the footage, with the exception of the drone footage you see in the videos, that's all done on a Hero Sessions. The best way to avoid an argument with your wife or spouse is to bring your own charging gear. So don't forget your cable and your wall adapter. There's lots of drone reviews and videos out there, but I wanted to go with a lightweight, compact drone that I could take anywhere. I can't recommend the DJI Spark strongly enough. It's been durable. I've wrecked it several times, replaced the blades. It's just been everywhere with me, and it works great. It's dependable every time. Outstanding video. Can't say enough about how excellent the DJI Spark is. This is my wife's Garmin Zuno 595 GPS device. So this was handy to have along. I think we used it quite a bit, and my wife likes it, so she says she recommends it. Any motorcyclist is going to have their thoughts on what tools to bring on a trip, but I think you should just bring your bike-specific tools with you. It's not necessary to bring the entire toolbox strapped to the back of the bike or anything like that. Just the tools you need to get the job done for most of the basic maintenance. If you're going to tear apart the engine, you're probably not going to do it roadside. So just bring enough tools to get the basic jobs done, and I think you should be okay. Don't forget to bring a patch kit and maybe some JB Weld in case you need it. Other than that, that's all you should need. Try to consider where you're traveling and what type of weather you're going to encounter, because along the North Shore there can be lots of weather extremes, whether it's early June snow or frost or sleet or high winds or rain or whatever it is. The weather conditions can change quickly along the North Shore and in Canada especially. So be prepared for that. Bring bug spray, sunscreen, things like that that are going to help make your trip more enjoyable. I brought a bug net, which I used at least once to keep the bugs off me, and my wife used it as well. But for this trip, planning wasn't too tough, so just kept things to a minimum. Don't forget your passport or enhanced ID, again, bring cash. And we made an exchange for money right at the border, and that came in handy later. So those are some things to remember. Otherwise, try to keep it as simple as possible, and remember to have fun. That's what it's all about. Here's the detailed packing list. Feel free to pause the video and take notes if you like. We did end up packing an extra gas can here, the Rotopax 1 gallon gas can, just in case. We didn't end up needing it, but it was good to have it as an insurance policy in case we found ourselves short of gasoline somewhere up in the wilderness. So here, heading off to Canada and the Circle Lake tour. Got everything packed up. Here comes Susan, all geared up with her stuff, ready to go.
Hi there.
You ready to go?
Yep.
Excited?
On a wee venture?
You excited?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the net on here so I can hold water and a hat. Want to drink the water? I don't know why that's funny, it just is. Don't make me laugh.
Oh my god.
Drink that, I'll probably have to pee in about 5 minutes.
I know.
Time to get the rain gear on. Now I look like a big fat rubber ducky.
What do I look like?
Let's see. That's Susan's rain gear.
Hello.
What town are we in? Spooner. We're in Spooner, Wisconsin. At the quick trip for a quick gas stop. We just drove through a torrential downpour. Just took off the rain gear. Looks like it's going to clear up. It's just sprinkling now, but we'll see what the weather is like as we move along here. All right. We just had the most amazing soup at this little gas station deli here in the middle of Hayward, Wisconsin, and you just wouldn't believe it. Everything was fresh. Carrots cut fresh. I had like a broccoli cheese soup and it was awesome. And here's what it looks like. And it was really good. The lady that cooks and bakes and makes the soups, I had to get my picture with her earlier because you just don't get food like this very often. It's like you went to grandma's house and she baked for you and made a soup for you. It's pretty cool. And it's pouring out, so heading back out in the rain. Here we are, some somewhere near Austin, Wisconsin. We just arrived at our first checkpoint to get our Circle Lake Tour stamp. Or what is it called? The North something? Something. We don't know. We're about to find out.
We don't know.
Let's see. We just went in the visitor center. We got our very first stamp of the trip for our circle tour. There it is right there. Boom. Stamped. 7 more to go. 7 more to go. And met a cool guy in there who's retired and travels in his RV and volunteers at national parks and state parks. He's a cool guy. His name was Ron. Explained a bunch of stuff. No, Paul. Not Ron. Paul. Explained a bunch of stuff to us. And cool. Anyway, we're gonna get back on the road now. It's cold. Temperature dropped probably, I don't know. I'm gonna guess like 20 degrees. Seems like it's in the high 40s right now. So I pulled off to get some coffee and get some gear on. We had about 5 people stop and tell us not to ride north because it's torrential and it's just starting to rain here. Not too bad, but it's not great either. Gonna wait it out a few minutes, see how it goes. That's what it's like. Seems to be getting heavier and heavier. Give it a minute, see if it passes. The skies cleared and we finally arrived in Grand Marais, Minnesota, a little bit after 7 o'clock, I think, maybe 7:30, but I got to catch up with my friend Jim Boyd, who invited us to his place for dinner, and his wife Jetty, and he cooked a wonderful dinner for us, and we got to enjoy their good company for a few hours, and it was just a really nice place in the woods and a good place to lay over on a long bike trip, and it had been a long day. Sometime around 9 or 9:30 or so, we decided to head back to the hotel and call an end to a long day. This is the end of day one of our trip around Lake Superior, and it was a long one. It's 10:30 at night. We just got back to the hotel. We did have some dinner with some friends, but we started at about, well, I guess we woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning, and it's about a little before 11 p.m. Well, 12 hours, 13 hours of riding and 300 and some miles on day one. But we're in Grand Marais. It's a really bad, crappy hotel. Don't let the Edward Hopper reproduction of the lighthouse there fool you. This hotel is really bad. So I'm not going to recommend the hotel, but I think any place with a bed right now would be good for both Susan and I. So we're going to hit the sack, wake up early tomorrow, and head back out on the road. Tomorrow's destination, Nipigon, Canada, with a quick stop in Thunder Bay. But should be another eventful day, but time to go to bed. Our day two journey takes us from Grand Marais, Minnesota, 239 kilometers to the north, to a town called Nipigon, Ontario, Canada, with a few stops along the way. Susan, what else is on here? Rotate that a little bit.
Bacon?
Get some bacon and some breakfast potatoes. And this is called I think it's called a portage omelet. It's vegetarian, apart from the eggs. That's it. Now we're gonna eat. There's what's left. So I mistakenly added jalapeno ketchup, which I thought was regular ketchup. Turns out my mouth's on fire now. Hey, any chance I could interest you in some jalapeno ketchup? You sure? Yeah, no? Yeah. Starting to clear out a little bit here in the Blue Water Cafe. Good breakfast. Almost time to head out. Before we leave Grand Marais, I just wanted to mention that my friend Jim runs an organization called the Great Place Project, and basically I'll let him tell you about it, but every year for the last 5 years or so, I worked with a local artisan to build a canoe, which is raffled off to raise money for this.
My name's Jim Boyd, and I'm the Executive Director of the Cook County Chamber of Commerce. The Great Place Project is a collaboration between Sawtooth Mountain Clinic, their Moving Matters project, and the Cook County Chamber of Commerce to support small projects around the county whereby businesses and individuals develop small outdoor art installations or enhancements of the public space that make it pretty, really, and that invite people to be out, to be active, to be moving, to be healthy. See, the thing we have going for us here that some people don't is the natural environment. The built environment that we control needs to be as beautiful as the place it sits. And so that's what we're doing. If you love a place and you show you love it by taking care of it and creating the beauty in it, other people want to love it too. Many of these business owners have had in the back of their minds that they'd like to do something like this. And then along comes the Great Place Project, and it's just a little bit of money and an encouragement, you know, that we're doing it, causes them to finally do something that they've had running around the back of their mind. What makes it work is that there is no prescription. You're asking people for their wildest ideas. And if the entire 61 corridor from Schroeder to Grand Portage could show the impact of this kind of work, that would be terrific.
So if you're ever up in Grand Marais and you see a canoe in the street and there's a raffle sign for it, be sure and buy a raffle ticket and help support Jim's project and beautifying the North Shore. I think it's pretty awesome. About to leave from Grand Marais. It's a beautiful day out. We just checked out of the Hotel Hell. Wasn't that great? Just to re-emphasize, bad. But looking forward to the ride. Should be a cool but nice ride. Here we go. It's pretty clear.
It is. Clear speed.
Have you ever been here before?
No, it's the first time.
Take all the pictures you like. So, this is the business hall for the Northwest Company. There are 4 rooms, one at each corner. Those were likely partner bedrooms. Look around, ask us any questions.
Thank you.
I have a colleague in the trade shop as well. This is where our partners, our owners sit. The rest of us, the guys who are paddling the canoe,
Yes.
they are outside the fence and they're eating peas and corn that they cook themselves, whereas our meals come from the kitchen next door.
Let's see that.
And we have whatever we want, because we're some of the richest men in the world here. If we want it, we can get it, even though we're on the edge of civilization.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Frobisher. Yorkshire. The British possessions.
So a beaver pelt looks like this. It's, it's brown. It's not this outer hair we want. We want the under hair. So somebody has to come along and basically pull all this hair off.
Wow.
And you're left with soft stuff underneath.
Right.
So of course women and children are given the job of doing this because it's dirty, slow, unpleasant work. What do you ride, by the way?
Oh, steel horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, just teasing. Hondas.
Yeah, gold one?
Yeah. No, much smaller, 500s.
Oh, okay.
They're just so dependable and easy to work
Yeah.
on. Do you ride?
I used to. I'm a full-time RVer now. I gave it up when we went on the road 3 years ago.
And do you volunteer then? Is
Yeah, we're
that part-
volunteers here for the summer.
And then they give you an RV hookup, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
this. I've heard about this from somebody else, but
Wisconsin? Want to trade anything today? Yeah, like your motorbike for anything or for uniform?
yeah, it'd be great.
There's a.
Cool.
How about this moose fur here? Fur.
Wow.
Color of moose skin. Amazing.
What's that?
Big and black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
Rough.
Is it?
Yeah. Really rough.
There's a first stop in Dublin. It's, are you going back?
I passed.
We
Yeah,
passed it.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, his wife, they're old, generations of fur trappers.
Wow.
Families, old
Sure.
families.
Oh, yeah, those are real furs. That's crazy. Yeah, sure. Nice.
Hi there.
But right now I'm making potato and ham soup, so I'm pretty
Okay.
psyched about it. And then I got a pie I'm getting ready to go really soon.
Sure. Right, and then you just swing that over, huh?
Yeah.
Will you eat that soup for reals?
I don't know yet. It's got ham in it, and that sounds good. That's really cool. And then I've got some strawberries, which would be of season right now. And I may have stolen some raspberries from. It's my grandma's recipe for rhubarb pie. Basically, you add 2 cups of rhubarb, 2 cups of strawberries, and a cup of sugar and 1/4 of a cup of flour. Put that in a pie shell. It's the best pie you'll ever eat. Those particular baskets are called McCooks.
Okay.
And you use black spruce fruit to sew them together. And you use white cedar to make rims for them. So they'll either be in flat pieces like that or little sticks of white cedar
Yeah.
that you can use.
Ah,
They're really cool. I have every intention of making one of these this year. Probably not one this big, more like that size.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, the fridge.
Yeah, that's a dry well. As you notice, this place isn't the warmest place in the world. So we actually can use the coolness in the ground to somewhat refrigerate.
Preserve, yeah, sure. And this is the garden and
Yeah.
So is this whole place original?
No. All the buildings were rebuilt in the 70s.
Okay.
But the original buildings were dismantled, and we do know where the foundations for these buildings were.
Okay.
The dismantled buildings were then sent up to Thunder Bay to start Fort William, if you've heard of that place.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, the original Fort William was actually the original buildings from here.
Oh.
Yeah.
but these seem to be made in the style that was prevalent.
We've
back
done
then.
extensive research to get it accurate. But they are the same size of building. We have the original foundations underneath them, so we do know those.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's beautiful here.
Oh, it's nice
Good.
day to day. Yeah. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for visiting.
Yeah, thank you. You just wake up in the morning in 1786 and you think to yourself, self, today I'm going to go out on the lake in that huge canoe with 12 dudes and fish. It's crazy, isn't it? Look at that place though. That's cool.
Smells lovely, doesn't it?
It really does. It's beautiful here.
Why did they move in there? Wonder what that wee round is. See it?
So I'll ring you up first, and then we'll change money after, because it's a separate transaction. So two and,
No, hang on a minute.
200?
Yeah.
So your total is 258, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 55, and 3 is 58. Companies.
Thanks very much. Here's Ridens. Ridens on the border. Got money exchanged. $1.29 Canadian to $1 US.
That's not right.
Seems like it's 150 over there, but that's how it is. Parcel service as well. And hey, now I know exactly where the dots are on the map. This side's the United States, that side's Canada. Friendship and peace to all. Welcome to Ontario. Hello.
Shut off your bike. What's your license plate number?
What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know it offhand.
You need it, so either pull up or just hop off and grab it.
7.
Yeah.
M for Mike. B for Victor.
What state?
Minnesota.
Where do you live?
St. Paul.
Purpose of your visit?
Vacation.
How long are you going to be staying?
8 days.
Where are you going to be going?
Nipigon, Wawa, Sault Ste. Marie.
Have any goods you're going to be leaving in Canada?
No.
Do you have any alcohol or tobacco with you?
No, sir.
Any firearms, weapons, mace or pepper spray?
Nothing like that.
Good day.
Thank you. Handy to have the wife along. She can read the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what your plate number is, Susan, so you, you may be selected. Have a good one. See you. If you get a chance, just off of Highway 17 right outside of Thunder Bay, Canada, there's a moving tribute to a guy named Terry Fox. He was a Canadian athlete, humanitarian, and cancer research activist. And in 1980, with one leg having already been amputated due to cancer, he embarked on an east to west cross-Canada run to raise money and awareness for cancer research. And although the spread of cancer eventually forced him to end his quest after 143 days and about 5,000 kilometers, and ultimately it cost him his life, his efforts resulted in a lasting worldwide legacy, including the Terry Fox Run, which was first held in 1981 and has grown to involve millions of participants. This is a really moving tribute and beautiful statue and memorial to Terry Fox. If you get a chance, stop by and see it. It's worth it. That's a Terry Fox memorial. We arrived in Nipigon, and the temperatures are around 66 degrees, and we're at the gas station. We just gassed up, and we're trying to find a hotel we booked here, so that's next. That's next on the list, and then dinner. And there's not much to Nipigon. Pretty small town. Seems friendly enough, though. Check back a little bit.
It's your choice.
Huh? Oh, okay. Ground floor is nice.
So usually the guests with the bike prefer the room on the main floor.
Yeah.
That's
all the
why.
stuff in.
So you can see this one.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Sure. All right. Okay, this looks great.
It's okay?
Yeah, this is fine.
Nope, that's fine.
Yeah, this looks great. Yeah.
So,
My name's Marty.
yeah. My name is Casey.
Casey.
English name KC, 2 letters.
KC.
Yeah.
Okay. We came to this little place called Sushi. There's a lot of truckers going by here. Anyway, it was okay. Here's what it looks like. Susan and I are here in Noop. How many miles do you think we put on?
Don't know.
Don't know. How many miles did we put behind us?
No idea.
We have no idea. Susan and I are here in... But there's restaurants here. There's a Tim Hortons. We're in Nipigon.
Magic mushrooms! That's why they were so nice.
We came up through... all right, the mosquitoes are bad. We're here in Nipigon. We came up from Grand Marais. Hey there, Susan and I are here in Nipigon. We came up through Grand Marais, then Thunder Bay, and came down. I don't even know what this highway is called. I don't. Anyway, we're here and heading back to the hotel because we're tired out. What are you going to do, Susan?
Sleep.
Sleep. Me too. See you tomorrow. Our day 3 journey takes us from Nipigon, Ontario, all the way down to Wawa. We'll pass through places like Marathon, Rainbow Falls, and then veer off the lake a little bit before we head south towards Wawa. It's about a 360 kilometer ride, probably a little over 4 hours in the saddle and most of the day. Here we are in Nipigon. It's the morning of the 16th. Just got up. This is the hotel we stayed in. It doesn't look like much, but it's really not bad. not a bad place. It's a brisk 59 degrees, and we're headed out towards Wawa this morning, so I think about 4 or 5 hours of riding, but we'll stop in a few places, so it's an all-day journey, but leaving shortly, so gotta saddle up. Trying to pack up the bags and get everything all sorted out, and then we'll leave. Yeah, that's it. All right, see you in a few. Nipigon. And Susan's gonna climb those stairs. No thanks.
How much is it for 2 bikes?
You just have to get 1 day pass.
Okay.
It's $12.25.
For both or for one?
For both.
For both?
Yeah. For the bikes, you get 1 day pass for 2 bikes.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't trying to escape. I pull out of the way. There's a truck behind us, so
Oh yeah.
I don't know where he went, but
$12.75.
what do you need?
$12.75.
Seems cheap. Are there falls up there?
Yep.
Okay.
It's about a 5-minute walk down to the falls, mostly stairs and boardwalk.
Can I get to my, can we get up through here with our motorcycles?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
You just come in at the front here, I can get that for you. Yeah, no problem. You guys have a good day.
Yeah, and then guess what? You can use your drone in the park.
Nice.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as it doesn't disturb anybody else.
Right.
Hey, there's a phone.
Yeah, that's a phone. The park pass does you all day.
I have a drone registered with the FAA, and I am a recreational drone pilot, but I always ask permission no matter where I go if I can fly my drone, if I can find somebody to ask. Now, at a state or provincial park, you can ask the rangers or the people at the entrance they'll often know whether or not the drone flight is allowed in the park or not. Canadians are pretty relaxed. In the US, I don't think you can fly drones in a national or state park anymore, at least in most states. It's just best to seek permission before flying your drone, basically anywhere you go that isn't public land, and especially if it is public land. If it's private land and you can't find the owner, it's best not to fly. But I always ask just to be on the safe side, and it's also polite. Just don't be obnoxious with the drone or disturb others if you can avoid it. And follow the FAA rules for drone flight, regardless of where you're at.
Steps.
That's a guest book. Right now, at this moment, we happen to be riding on some of the most ancient ground in the world, and certainly in the North American continent. This is the Canadian Shield, also called the Laurentian Plateau if you're a geology nerd. This is a large area of exposed Precambrian, igneous, and high-grade rock like granite and things like that that forms the ancient geological core of the North American continent. And the area is covered by a thin layer of soil, so there's not much farming that goes on around here. And so human population is pretty sparse and industrial development is minimal. It also stretches north from the Great Lakes all the way to the Arctic Ocean, covering over half of Canada. All the rivers and lakes in the entire region you see here is caused by watersheds of the area being so young and still in a state of trying to sort themselves out, with the added effect of post-glacial rebound. In geological terms, this area is both ancient and youthful all at once. The Shield was originally an area of very large, very tall mountains, probably like Colorado or Montana, with mountains that were maybe 39,000 feet high. Most of the volcanoes, or all of the volcanoes now here in this area, the ancient ones, are all dead. 150 different volcanic belts now eroded down to nearly flat plain. The bedrock here dates from 600 to 1,200 million years old.
See the moose on your windshield? There's one about a kilometer up the road on the ditch side.
Oh, really?
Left-hand side, big male, yeah. We've seen 4 in the last 3 hours up this way.
Oh, really?
You guys coming this way?
Yeah, we just came this way, just past the blue signs. There was a big male on the left-hand side. So, and then we've seen 3 in the last 100 kilometers. They're all coming out from the black fire, pushing them all into the road. So, sit right on the ditch eating. Yeah, it takes 3 days to get on the wrong province. Ontario's a big province when you start driving out of that. Holy crap.
Thank you. Look at that bridge we just came over. Yeah, the railway bridge. See the railway track?
Well, we saw a moose. I saw a moose across the road. Susan was messing around with her sunglasses, but he was pretty big. And this is kind of the scene. See Lake Superior there? Yep. Pretty nice. We pulled off at a rest stop. We could relax for a second or two. So yeah, it was weird seeing that moose, and then we had to slow down quite a bit because moose and motorcycles don't mix. Do they, Susan?
Not at all.
No. So, guy warned us about them. We pulled off a little while ago and to check the bikes, and this guy was there, and he's like, "I saw about 4 moose, so watch out." So we did, and just so happens we saw one. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool place.
Probably just regular and diesel.
Susan, out in the middle of nowhere, middle of Ontario, Canada.
Yep. Another moose to behold.
How far are you from Wawa?
About 70 miles, maybe.
70 miles or so. Yep, out here in the wildy. The only moose Susan's seen is the one on her motorcycle.
Morty moose.
Morty moose. That's not right. Let me see.
Morty moose.
There he is. Morty. Well, Susan and I came to this really nice restaurant. It's kind of fancy. And it's in Wawa.
Northern.
What's that?
Best Northern.
Best Northern, it's called. And we ate some really good food. I had some pierogi, which I don't think I had it before, but it was delicious. And some lentil soup that was cooked perfectly. And Susan had an Alfredo, chicken Alfredo, right? Is that what it was?
No, it's not.
What was it?
It's just chicken and pasta with pesto sauce.
Chicken and pasta with pesto sauce, and then before
Sun-dried
that,
tomatoes, garlic, bread.
Caesar salad, and we had some bruschetta. The bruschetta was good as well. It was all good. Check this place out. That's Northern. It's kind of swanky. It's empty right now because we're the last ones in the dining room, but it was good. And now I'm stuffed and I need to go to sleep. Susan too. Oh, there goes the beer. Here we are at our hotel, just outside of Wawa. No, that's not it. An empty lot. Looks like somebody tore something down. Actually, there is a hotel back there in the woods. We just came from eating a really nice dinner. What was the name of the place? The Northern? The restaurant. Best Northern. Now we're going to go back to our room at the Mystic Isle Motel, which is pretty nice, yeah. Full report on that later. It actually was a really nice room, and it was inexpensive considering the Canadian exchange rate. I feel like we got a really good deal on this hotel. It was excellent. So if you're ever in the vicinity of Wawa, Ontario, Canada, stop in and check out the Mystic Isle Hotel. It was nice. All right, time to go to bed. It's been a long day. Got up at 5 this morning. It's well after 10. Susan's already snoring. So that means it's time for me to go to bed. Rode from Nipigon to Wawa, Ontario today. Saw some great, awesome stuff, including a place called Rainbow Falls. Saw a couple of moose. Lots of cool stuff. Ate a great dinner, took a walk during the sunset, but just worn out. All right. See you in the morning.